The NBA and Stanley Cup Finals are here, and it's no surprise to see multiple players from both leagues rising, unlike one superstar whose prices are sadly headed in the wrong direction. Plus, a budding MLB star whose prices and performance just can't be ignored. I'm breaking it down for you this week on the Top 5 Cards. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Top 5 Cards Going Up. My name is Tyler Nethercott, better known as Teapot, filling in once more for Jeff this week, and I am really excited because it's the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, it's the NBA Finals. This is an awesome time of year. We get to find out who's going to be the champion. On the NHL side, it's a rematch, which rarely ever happens, and on the NBA side, well, the Thunder obviously were the favorites going in, but who saw the Pacers coming? We've got some players from both of these finals and lots more to break down this week. And today's Top 5 is sponsored by Whatnot. Whatnot has awesome live auctions every day and night, starting at just $1 for packs, boxes, breaks, singles, and more. It's a lot of fun, and if you scan the QR code on your screen or use the special link in our show description below, you'll get $15 in free credit when you sign up for Whatnot. Now let's take a look at the overall sports card market with Market Pulse by Market Movers. Over the last 7 days, the SCI 500 index of 500 of the most prominent sports cards is up 0.9%. Over the last 30 days, the SCI 500 is up 0.7%. And since January 1st of this year, it is up 5.4%. The best performing cards, category of cards over the last 30 days is basketball from the junk wax era, 1980 to 1989, which is up 12%. And the worst performing category is hockey from 1960 to 1979, which is down 12.9%. As a reminder, the cards you'll see in today's show have gone up in price recently, but they are not necessarily good investments right now. Always do your own research to decide which cards you think will go up in value next. All right, starting out this week with our cold card, and it is Jayson Tatum, the forward for the Boston Celtics. Now, after dominating much of the season and looking every bit like the repeat contender, the defending champion Boston Celtics fell short of a return to the NBA Finals, losing to the New York Knicks in the second round. The turning point came in Game 4 when star forward Jayson Tatum suffered a torn right Achilles, an injury that effectively ended the Celtics' hope of advancing. Now, Tatum underwent surgery shortly after this and is expected to miss the entire 25-26 season. His absence has sparked serious questions about the team's direction moving forward and how they'll adapt without their franchise cornerstone. And from a card perspective, even last year, when Tatum won the NBA championship, his cards really didn't go up that much in price. He was voted the 4th best player in the NBA after the season concluded, according to The Ringer, yet his cards really don't typically get any love. So what does this mean for Tatum's market? You got to let me know down in the comments below. Now, all of Tatum's cards as tracked by Market Movers are down 6.6% collectively over the last 30 days, but some seeing some far more significant declines. So here we've got his Prism Silver, and I can't believe I'm seeing a PSA 10 Jayson Tatum Silver, Pop 919, down to $585. That's the lowest I remember ever seeing it. So Tatum's market definitely souring over the last 30 days. That's a 23.5% decline. Then we've got his base Prism, which is down to $85. That's a 28% decline. We've got his Optic red and yellow PSA 10. That card down 25.7% to $78. And then just his Hoops base rookie card here, Pop 5,426, down 29%. So no surprise between the Celtics getting bounced and then the unfortunate torn Achilles for Tatum to see this card market going down. What felt like it could be a young sort of budding dynasty with the Celtics now looks very different. What do you think of Tatum's market long term? Again, let me know down below. All right, for our investment card this week, it's Cal Ripken Jr., the former shortstop for the Baltimore Orioles. Now, Ripken Jr. was a legendary Major League Baseball player known for his incredible durability and skill as a shortstop and third baseman with the Baltimore Orioles over a 21-year career. He played 2,632 consecutive games, setting a record that earned him the nickname the Iron Man and one of the probably most unbreakable records now across all of sports. A 19-time All-Star and a 2-time American League MVP, Ripken was inducted into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot in 2007 and is celebrated for his leadership, work ethic, and lasting impact on the game. And we've got a handful of cards, including his 1982 Topps Traded Rookie card in PSA 10. There's 417 of these. And if you want to scoop one of these, well, the last sale around $5,400. Which is right around the average for what this card typically goes for. A very iconic card. Many people recognize that one from 82. We've also got this one, a little less iconic, but still a nice card nonetheless, is 1982 Fleer, number 176. That's in PSA 10. Pop 315. We're going to have to expand the time frame to see when one of these last sold. Last sold in March 27th for $2,999. And then we've got this Future Stars card here from 1982 Topps in PSA 10. This is Pop 554. And this card last sold for $2,050. And then his 1982 Donruss PSA 10 base card here will set you back about $1,500. Now, if we want to look at this one, which I think most would say is the most iconic, nice feature in Market Movers, you can pop this open and you can actually look at all the different prices and different grades. Even to get into a PSA 9 drops you down to just $435. You get a PSA 8 for $164, and you can kind of keep going down. So again, you have options in that sort of $100, $150 range if you want to scoop one of these iconic Ripken rookie cards, and he is our investment card of the week. All right, now it's time to count down our top 5 hot cards, and at number 5, it is Leon Draisaitl, the center for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, Draisaitl and the Edmonton Oilers are set for a highly anticipated rematch with the Florida Panthers in this 2025 Stanley Cup Final. Draisaitl has played a key role in Edmonton's playoff push and all of their success for the last many years, especially in the Western Conference Finals, though, against the Dallas Stars. Through 16 postseason games, Draisaitl has recorded 7 goals and 18 assists for a total of 25 points, trailing only teammate Connor McDavid in playoff scoring. Draisaitl is somewhat overlooked because of McDavid, but many consider him to be a top 10 player in the NHL, so it's really nice to see his cards once again getting some respect. Now, all of his cards as tracked by Market Movers are up 5.5% collectively over the last 30 days, and we can see some of them up, significantly more than that. This one up 9%, his PSA 9 Future Stars pop 72, and a PSA 10 just pop 20. That'll set you back a little under $3,000. But definitely the iconic SP Authentic Future Watch Autos numbered to $999. And then we've got his Upper Deck Young Guns canvas here. Really nice looking card. I like that photo. In a PSA 10, that's pop 215. That card is up 42% over the last 30 days. So there was a sale on May 7 for $384. And now $545. That's a 42% increase over the last 30 days. This is his BGS 9.5 Young Guns base card. This one actually up almost 51% over the last 30 days. Big jump since they made it to the finals. And then in a raw condition, this card actually up 43.2%. A little more volatility on the raw condition here, but overall, Draisaitl's card market definitely seeing some life. Will we see a rematch of the outcome from last year? Many seem to think so, but I'd love to hear your comments if you're a big hockey fan down below. Can McDavid and Draisaitl take one home, or is this the Panthers' year once again? All right, at number 4, it's the other team. It's the center for the Florida Panthers, Alexander Barkov, and obviously they're heading back for that rematch with the Oilers. Barkov has been a driving force with Florida this postseason, anchoring both ends of the ice with his usual two-way excellence through 17 playoff games. He's registered 6 goals and 11 assists for 17 points while winning nearly 58% of his faceoffs. Fresh off winning both the Selke and King Clancy trophies, Barkov's leadership and all-around play continue to set the tone for the Panthers' championship push. Now, Barkov, for me, gets my vote as the most underrated player in the NHL. And like Draisaitl, it's nice to see his cards getting some love too. All right, so we're looking at 3 different cards from Barkov here, and hockey makes it very easy. We've always got the very iconic Young Guns and the Future Watch Autos. Now, this card actually only up 1.5% over the last 30 days, but you could see there was a much bigger sale at $299, and you got to assume if the Panthers come out hot, this card could see some life again. Or maybe don't assume that, but you let me know what you think. This one's at pop 105, so for $250 to $300, you can get one of these iconic Barkov PSA 10s. We've also got his Young Guns card raw here, and this one definitely spiking up. Most recently, $150 sale. 30 days ago, you could have gotten this card for $38.75. So that one's definitely seeing some life. And then his PSA 10 Young Guns canvas here, pop 110. This card 30 days ago at $82, and most recently having sold for $130. So Barkov seeing some life. I think there's a lot of optimism for Panthers fans and others maybe who love the NHL to see what his card market is going to do, and he's our number 4 hot card of the week. All right, at number 3 this week, it is Pascal Siakam, Spicy P, the forward for the Indiana Pacers, and a quarter of a century later, the Pacers have finally returned to the NBA Finals after defeating the New York Knicks, and Siakam played a crucial role in Indiana's run, earning Eastern Conference Finals MVP honors with standout performances throughout the series. There was actually a pretty funny moment when Halliburton started to step forward thinking he had won that Eastern Conference Finals trophy, but no, I would say it was rightly Siakam. Over 16 playoff games in 2025, Siakam has been a consistent force, averaging 21.1 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 3.3 assists per game. And earlier this year, he secured his future with Indiana by signing a 4-year, $189.5 million contract extension. All of his cards, as tracked by market movers, are up 19.1% over the last 30 days. And we're looking at a little sampling here. We've got 3 different cards. The iconic PSA 10 Prism Silver, Pop 213. This card up 8.9% over the last 30 days. I think there's a little more life if we look over the last 90 days. You can see it's actually been just steadily rising as the Pacers have been making their run through the Eastern Conference playoffs. And then we've got his PSA 10 Prism Mosaic card, Pop 394. And this card is actually up 200% over the last 90 days. Over the last 30 days, up 100%. So still relatively affordable. This is a base rookie card, but a nice looking one, and it's up to $45 most recently. And then lastly, we've got his PSA 10 Prism base card here, Pop 606. This card up 31.1%. You can still scoop that for $26. So Siakam this week with the Pacers, our number 3 hot card. All right, we keep counting down our list, and at number 2 this week, it is Cal Raleigh, the catcher for the Seattle Mariners. And at this point, he's got to be the consensus best catcher in baseball. He is a standout. And as of June 2nd, he leads the major leagues with 23 home runs, surpassing his previous career high of 21 homers before May 31st. Now, during the week of May 26th to June 1st, Raleigh hit .348 with 6 home runs and a 1.575 OPS. He's just been consistent throughout this year so far. In March, Raleigh and the Mariners agreed to a 6-year, $105 million contract extension, securing his position as a cornerstone for the franchise. All of his cards, as tracked by market movers, are up 29.2% collectively over the last 30 days. But first, I want to call your attention to something. This was an article from MLB.com on some historic paces by different players this year. This was before Raleigh hit 4 home runs in a row this past week, and he was on pace for 55 home runs and a 9.7 FWAR, which would, they're saying, quietly on pace for one of the best seasons ever by a catcher. You can see that 55 home runs would make him the first primary catcher with a 50 home run season. Hard to believe that nobody's ever done that. 373 on base percentage, which has only gone up since then. And this would give him just shy of Posey's high water mark of a 9.8 WAR in 2012. But I think he's got to be above that pace after this past week. So just absolutely torrid from Raleigh so far. Still a lot of season left, so we'll see what happens. But I actually scooped him as my fantasy catcher this year, and I'm loving the dividends that is paying. Now, we've got his 2019 Bowman Chrome here. This is his Prospect First Auto Raw, and this card is actually up 58.4% over the last 30 days, most recently having sold for $247. We've got his Topps Chrome Rookie Auto, and this one is up to $135 in raw condition. You could have scooped one of these a month ago for $51, and now he's just absolutely killing it. So no surprise to see that one up. And then at $120, up 140% over the last 30 days, is his SP image variation. I always love me a good image variation, and this is a fun one whenever you see the Gatorade or ice bath, water bath dumped on players. And then lastly, also a personal favorite, the Heritage Real One autographs. This is the blue ink, and this one is up from $49.99 to $100 on the most recent sale on May 30th. So Cal Raleigh, this week's number 2 hot card. All right, that brings us to the number 1 hot card this week. But before we do, as always, this video and data is brought to you by Market Movers. You can download Market Movers app completely free at the App Store. You can try it for free, you can use it, get free data, and then if you want to start tracking your collection and so much more, you can sign up. There's a lot of different plans to choose from. And I want to give you a really important heads up that we are giving away an all expenses paid trip for you and a guest to this year's National in Chicago at the end of July. If you want to get in on that drawing, you got to sign up for Market Movers, be an active member, and we're going to be doing a live drawing on our public live stream on the Market Movers channel on June 17th, starting at 8 p.m. So go sign up for Market Movers, start using it, enjoy the app, get all these price trends and track your entire collection, and you and a lucky guest might be ones getting a trip for free to this year's National. And without further ado, our number one hot card this week, Tyrese Haliburton. I had to throw a little bit of playful shade at him before with the Spicy P and winning the Eastern Conference Finals, but Haliburton obviously has been a really standout player in the playoffs this year. It started out really weird season this year because Haliburton looked absolutely fantastic last year. And then for the first part of this year, he didn't really look like the same player. And that landed him actually on the players. The players in the NBA voted him this year the most overrated player. So can anyone say chip on your shoulder and motivation to push a team through to the finals? Now, another key factor in their success, in the Pacers' success this year, has just been his efficiency, which we're going to talk a little bit more about. In Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, he delivered a standout performance with 21 points, 13 assists, helping them secure the Eastern Conference Championship. But in Game 4 against the Knicks, Haliburton made history by becoming the first player in history to record 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 15 assists with no turnovers. Pretty incredible stat line for sure. Now, all of Haliburton's cards as tracked by market movers are up 22.8% collectively over the last 30 days. And I want to first point out a high sale. This is the highest recorded Haliburton sale now on record. This card, talk about good timing. And somebody had this in the Golden auction that ended on May 31st, sold for $120,000. His Prism Black PSA 9 1-of-1 rookie card. So massive sale. That one outdoing this sale, which was actually back from 2023 as NT Logo Man RPA. So that's a pretty significant sale. Out of reach for me and for many of you, I'm sure, but maybe some more accessible cards if you're big on Haliburton or you're excited about his performance, or maybe you've got some of these that you're looking to sell now and strike while the iron's hot. We've got his PSA 10 Prism Silver Pop 433. This card is up 86.5%. Last sold for $364, and you could have scooped one of these for $195 30 days ago. Even less than that if we look 173, 200, 175, $156 over the last 90 days. And then we've got his PSA 10 Orange Ice Pop 161, retail exclusive. Last sold for $180. That's an 81.8% increase. We've got his PSA 10 Optic Hollow, steadily rising. Most recently having sold for $113. That's a 106% increase. And then lastly, something a little bit different here, his National Pride Orange Reactive Mosaic. That's a mouthful. PSA 10 Pop 76. This card sold for $12.86 a month ago, now up to $44.40. So this week's number one player, Tyrese Haliburton. Will the Pacers be able to contend with the Thunder, who look like the odds-on favorites? We'll see. It's going to be an exciting series. That is for sure. That brings us to the end of this week's top 5 cards. Let me know your thoughts down below. Any surprises, anybody you think we missed. And until next time, happy investing, keep on collecting, and make sure to have fun.